It's the day after we finished an event, and if you know me, you know those are some of my favorite days. I'm Professorvoqas, and this is Harry Potter, Wizards Unite. This came in the mail yesterday. Let's open it up, see what's inside. It's a box in a box. This box will definitely give you an idea of what's inside. And even more so, the hat. And maybe the side, so you can see. Those of you that watch my videos may have seen a week or two ago, I had ordered some Vans, and it's these Vans right here. My Ravenclaw Harry Potter Vans, to walk around the wizarding world of Harry Potter, as well as, you know, walk around normal places with them. So I got these, and actually saw that K-Swiss also had a line of Harry Potter shoes. And if you've ever been to Orlando or just Florida in general, during these type of months, it rains a lot. So the odds that my shoes get soaking wet one day, pretty high. So I figured I should have 2 pairs of Ravenclaw shoes. And they actually had, K-Swiss had a Ravenclaw shoe, and that's what I ordered. These are still, I believe, being made. The Vans were, they made them, stopped making them, they were out of stock. It took me a little while to hunt them down. Well, just even opening up the box, I love this box. They have a snitch. They have a snitch on the inside cover, and you can't see it, but there's shadow striping. Well, I think you can see little spots. You probably can't tell what they are, like shadow striping. It is the Hogwarts crests, and then the animal associated with the 4 Hogwarts houses. So, really cool. Very cool. Okay, wow. Before we even get to the shoes, the paper that it's in, I can hold it up for you. Again, it's the Daily Prophet, and you can see it's got, what is that? Contact the ministry if you have any information on, if you have any information about you-know-who. So, interesting. Says, talking about the firebolt, just some cool stuff. It just a nice added little benefit that they put it not in regular paper, but in this paper. But the shoes themselves, oh, very cool. So, of course, they're blue, Ravenclaw, standard K-Swiss with the 5 stripes. There you go. You can see the tongue has that Ravenclaw crest. Every time my face is in the picture, the camera immediately tries to focus on it, so it's really hard to get it to focus on things. I gotta get my mug out of the picture. Anyway, let me show you. So on the inside heel, if you can see, lighting is a little hard. The Hogwarts crest is inside there, though, so that's very cool. And then just the standard, you know, Ravenclaw colors. They do give you, pick up my other shoe. They give you an extra set of laces. The laces they give you are the blue and white, so I actually like those better than just the plain blue. But if they ever really, you know, wear down, can replace them. So anyway, these actually kind of have a suede to them, so getting them wet will definitely not be something I want to do. But I do have an extra pair, so I can switch between the 2 pairs. I would also say that these are a little more padded. So the other one, the Vans, they're definitely, if you've worn Vans before, they're definitely more minimalist. So it can definitely, a whole day of walking them might be a bit much. So these may actually become the preferred shoes in the parks. But it'll be nice to have 2 pairs to switch back and forth between. So anyway, what a cool box. Yeah, this is, I mean, normally shoe boxes you just get rid of. Not this one, though. I mean, it's got that Hogwarts logo and the 4 houses, and then the inside with the snitch and the shadow striping. Very cool. But enough about shoes. Let's talk about Harry Potter, Wizards Unite. Let's head over to SOS training. I am finally ready to spend my Defense Against the Dark Arts books. Right now, I'm looking to level up. That's really my main goal in the game. I do all the other things, but it's really just to get me leveling up. So I'm at level 41 now. And I just want to keep continuing to level up. And the Trace Charm is, like I've talked in the past in videos, the Trace Charm's one of the best ways for me while I'm on a Brufios to have that trace charm, you get a bigger chunk of experience than you would normally get, and you just get those higher threat foundables. It helps you fill out your registry as well with when you get those emergency foundables, instead of just getting a couple fragments from it or one fragment, it allows you to get a ton of fragments and place that image so much faster, which in turn gets you experience, ministry manuals, all that stuff. So definitely working toward the trace charm. So Calamity Essentials 2. If we come down to the level 19 node, and level 19 node, I'm going to go down, then I'm going to go left, then I'm going to go down again. It's got a red dot on it. You can see it on the screen. It's funny, it's called Insight, I-N-N, like it's going to have to do with ins. And the way that does tie in is, if you look at the flavor text, you figure this out at the leaky cauldron. So within the leaky cauldron, which is an inn, you get some insight. So I can see the cleverness, but that would be confusing if somebody's not super familiar with this. If they see that, they might think this has to do with the in charm. But it says at the bottom, trace charm efficacy. So what this is going to do for me, normally I produce 3 traces, although a lot of times it throws a 4th for me. It's going to bump me up to 4, so maybe I'll get 5, I don't know. It's just going to give me 1 more trace produced every time I use the trace charm. By the way, this morning, before we even started filming the video, I actually had a 3-headed dog appear, managed to put the trace charm on it, and ended up getting a whole bunch of Newt Scamanders. I actually managed to return all the Newt Scamanders, but I clicked on the 3-headed dog, didn't fight it, I just clicked on it and then I backed away. And when I backed away, it disappeared. And then I got the Newt Scamanders. Actually, the Newt Scamanders disappeared after 1. I restarted the game, went back in. They reappeared. I got all of them. 3-headed dog was still not there. Restarted the game again just to see if it would appear. And I wasn't floating. I'm at home. I pretty much stay static at home. And it just never reappeared. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and get insight. So, upgrade. Nice. So that increased the efficacy. So right now I just have 2 trace charms I can cast per day, and they're going to give me 4 traces each. But if of course I get the recharges on them. And the next thing I want to upgrade is in the level 22 node, Calamity Essentials 2 still. It's to upgrade Whetstone for the Mind, which is wit sharpening potion damage. And it uses defense against dark arts books, 15 of them. And I'm not doing this because I really like wit sharpening potions and I want to do more damage. It's because behind it is locked the Spanglerillion, and that is a trace charm spellcast increased. It's 31 field guides and 5 ministry manuals, which is super cheap. But honestly, because you have to do the wit sharpening, it's almost as if it costs 15 defense against the dark arts books. There's some other things past this that I'm interested in. If you go past the wit sharpening, you go down and across, you end up getting over to this section here, the Maltese Pixie. It's some cheap upgrades for spell mastery, and not against a family, just overall spell mastery. We're going to do it. We're going to do Whetstone for the Mind. I'm going to upgrade. I just spent the defense against dark arts books. But it does open up this, so I can get Spanglerillion and Trace Charm Spellcast increased, 31 and 5. Nice. Anyway, I have the whole day to run some errands and play some Harry Potter Wizards Unite. Meeting up with a friend of mine, Hakeem, might actually do some, help him with some photography with my camera for him. He's kind of a personal trainer. So maybe doing some exercise-inspired photos and that type of thing. But definitely going to get some Wizards Unite in. Actually, I have to go by REI to exchange some shorts that I'll be bringing down to Orlando that I just needed the different size. And also need to make a Target run to get some just of the essentials that you need to bring on any trip with you. Let's start things off by replenishing my charms because I have a trace charm I want to put down right now. We'll come back and collect other stuff later. You can see the emergency oddity. Let's go ahead and put the trace charm on it. Boom. Oh, look at that. More oddities. All right, so let me back out. I don't even have a Barufios on yet. I really just opened up the game and saw that and we were hitting it. So I'm going to put a Barufios on. We'll wait on the tonic for trace detection. It doesn't last as long anyway, and I don't need it at the moment because we just want to hit all these. Sweet. And you can see I got 4 because my efficacy is at 4 now. Looks like it's going to be a whole bunch of 3-headed dogs. Actually, I'm not sure if the original is a 3-headed dog or a horned serpent. I didn't actually click on it because sometimes it disappears. Nice. It let me have 3 attacks in a row right off the bat. He didn't even get an attack in. It was all me. Nice. 4 out of 5 fragments. So the next one I hit should get me enough to place the image. Give me some good ministry manuals for sure. And maybe on the trunk, maybe I'll get a trace charm recharge. There we go. So max fragments. 5 out of 5. Really, it should have gone up to 6 out of 5. Rank up. No trace charm recharge. That's okay, though. When I place the image, I'll have another shot at this, though. Woohoo! 18 ministry manuals. I will take it, because I did just spend some. You saw earlier this morning, I actually did some SOS. I can't remember how many ministry manuals, if any. It was definitely some Defense Against Dark Arts and restricted section books. Sweet, couple rank ups. Nice. So if you look, another one has appeared. There was 3 in that row. I got the furthest one away from me, and now it's back again. So I'm going to go hit that one first. I believe the middle of those 3 is the original, so my plan is to hit that one last. Which means if all these are 3-headed dogs, I will get to place the image again. More ministry manuals. All right, that was I say final one down. That's the final one. By the way, 20 field guides per also, so that's really good. So one of the ones that had appeared re-disappeared. When we go back out, you'll see. But first rank up, and I'll get to place the image again. There should be one more. Well, I say there should be one more. The extra one that produced, it disappeared again, so I'm not sure. I'm going to actually shut the game down. We're going to open it back up and see if it reappears. It was actually the one that was in the same position as the original, so it's almost as if the original disappeared. Nice. No trace charm recharge on any of that. But again, the odds aren't fabulous, so I'm not expecting it. Again, it's just a pleasant surprise when it happens. All right, it hasn't appeared, but we are going to shut down and reopen immediately and see if it reappears, because they do move around, so I'm not sure if it was the original or if it was one of the extras. So it did not reappear, which isn't a big deal. Essentially, I got the correct number I'm supposed to get. I put it on the original. My efficacy is 4, and it actually produced 4, and then after I got a couple, it gave me another one, but then it took it away. But I wasn't supposed to get it anyway. So in the end, I ended up getting 6, actually, I think. So I still think I actually got one more than I was supposed to. The original plus 4 would have been 5, plus one more. I think I got 6. So really, I still got one more. So can't complain there, but it did appear, then disappear. So I'm over at Bomb Park, and that's where I hit that trace charm just 2 seconds ago. I just needed to hit that first. I didn't want it to disappear while I was talking. So anyway, pretty productive day. I've already been to REI, traded some shorts in. I just needed a different size. And went to Target, picked up some different things like travel toothpaste and things for my trip to Orlando coming up on Monday. Also, and managed to meet up with my friend Hakeem, who's a personal trainer. We're actually going to do a little photo session tomorrow, but we met up 8 and discussed what we wanted to do. So productive in that sense also. And I actually just got an oil change for my car, which took a little bit longer because I actually have a Mini Cooper, and surprisingly, oil filters for Mini Coopers at the moment are really hard to come by. So had to get delivered. They didn't have one on hand, and so interesting. But much needed oil change. I've put it off for far too long, like I know a lot of people do. But anyway, here at Bomb Park, I have gained some experience since the last time we met just by catching little things. And honestly, that trace charm just a second ago with the Barufios on, I'm up to 305 out of 340. So right now I'm just 35,000 away. So we may hit it today, because my plan for today, because there's not an event going on, is I really want to hit this park hard today. It's a nice day. And no pressure, I can just go around and catch everything. So I have the Barufios on. I'm going to put a tonic on. I'm actually going to leave my camera in the car. I will show you some highlights. I'll definitely record some screen stuff of some of the excellent stuff I catch. But I'm actually going to do a lap, really hit it hard, and we'll come back together. I have a couple things I want to talk about that have been on Reddit and Discord. Some questions people have had about some of the event. Both placing images, as well as a note about master notes and potions, which a lot of you know about, but if you don't, I'm going to explain that as well. So without further ado, I'm going to go get some experience. Very successful tonic and Barufios that time. I made it all the way up to 339, 666 out of 340. So I'm on the cusp. But there's something that happened to me in yesterday's video, and I was looking on both Discord as well as Reddit, multiple threads, multiple people asking the same question, and it's something I had trouble with yesterday. If we go to the registry, I'm gonna go over, it's gonna be a rank up first for Magical Games and Sports. No trace charm recharge. Let's go over to the events though. So, first of all, just a little bit away from 42, so I'm going to place an image to do it, but it's going to serve a purpose. The image I'm going to place is Bogrod, and yesterday, if you saw, I was having trouble placing Bogrod, and other people have had the same thing. So, if you're looking at the screen right now, Bogrod's ready to place, and when I click on him, you click on the image, it doesn't work. But if you look at his right elbow, so it's to my left, but from his perspective, it's his right elbow, clicking below that, so in that space in the corner, that's not him. When you click there, you can see the image just worked for me. The other image that people were having trouble with was the first year at Hogwarts list. And I don't have that filled out, but from what people have said, it's the lower left corner of it as well. So where my green star is, it's supposed to be around there. So instead of clicking in the middle or the right or upper, click in that lower left, and you will end up getting that image placed as well. So by placing that, I got 1,000 experience. By the way, official sources have even said that placing repeated images and getting that 1,000, although it is awesome, it is not intended. So at some point they're going to fix it. So for right now, consider it a bonus. And when they take it away, that is actually how it's supposed to have been happening. And that is official sources that said that that is not intended. But they have a lot of other bugs they're fixing right now. So I'm fine with them leaving that one in place. So for right now, get those repeat images and place them and get your 1,000 experience. So if we back out, I should be leveling up to 42. There it is, 41 to 42, which opens up a node, by the way. Gives me some spell mastery. We're going to go to it. 10 gold, silver key, tonic for trace, dark detector, strong, extimulo, 25 spell energy. And it even asked me to go to training. So we're going to go there because I wanted to go anyway. It takes me right to this node, which unlocks. And if I click on the node, you can see I just got plus 200 spell mastery, which just makes my spells more powerful in all sorts of places. So it's nothing but good, and that's why they do it as you're leveling up. So it did open up two possible ways, which is to go over to this in charm, which costs 25 restricted section books and raises the proficiency. And then if you go down, it goes to a different in charm, which is in charm spell cast increase, which is 100 field guides and 21 ministry manuals, which I'm actually going to do just because why not? It's kind of fun. During the walk, I also did manage to unlock 3 different port keys, all 1 kilometer, and I just went from one to the next to the next. So one of them was already through, so I didn't walk 3 kilometers. It was probably 2.5 or something. I think one of them was about halfway through. Very productive day, but I am done at this park. But there is one more thing I want to talk about that I've been seeing on Discord and Reddit as well, people asking questions about it, which is surprising really, but we're going to go home and talk about it. Back home, and the last thing I wanted to talk about was master notes. I saw some people had asked questions because one of these tasks, which is something new, asked you to do master notes on 2 different potions, and people were asking, what does that even mean? It's funny because if you've played the game for a while and you're really into it, of course you're like, oh yeah, master notes. But if you really think about it, when you get to the potion screen, and actually I'm going to collect this potion first. So normally the potion screen looks like this. So if you just look at this screen, there's really nothing here that's pointing an arrow to what you're supposed to do. You can see the spoon has the glow around it, but the cauldron has a glow too. So I can completely see where if you have played this game, you might not notice, or why would you know? You would go to brew it, and you might even notice there's a checkbox in the corner, but there's nothing that indicates what that's for. So if you're wondering what master notes are, and those of you that know master notes, you're going to know all this already, but that's okay. So if you do brew a potion, the spoon that is inside the cauldron that is glowing, if you tap on it, it will bring up this screen. Now, the screen in this case has symbols on the top of it. When you first start master notes, those symbols are not there. Initially, those are all blank, and the idea is for you to try to figure out what the code is, so to speak. So there's six symbols you can see across here. Well, 6 places, 4 symbols. There are a potential of 8 total symbols you can do. They are a horizontal across, and you can go either direction. A vertical line, so you can swipe up or down in the potion. You literally would do it in the potion. You can do a clockwise circle, a counterclockwise circle. You can pinch in, so just from the outer to the inner. And then honestly, even though it shows it from the horizontal direction, as long as you put your 2 fingers and pinch them inward, they're fine. So you could do it up, down, it doesn't matter. There's a pinch out. The last symbol in this shows a pinch out. It shows 2 dots and you pinch out. You can tap the screen. You just literally just tap around the screen. or you shake the phone. You shake your phone and just move it. So those are the 8 different things you can do. So what you end up doing if you don't have the answer, if they're blank and you're learning this, you really have 2 options. Number 1, Google it like a lot of things, and it'll just tell you the master notes for every potion and you can do it. But that's not as fun. So if you decide not to Google it and you want to have some fun with it, it doesn't take too long, is the first thing you do is you just start trying symbols out. And if it's correct for the number 1 spot, it will like lock into place. So in this case, the first symbol tells me to pinch in. That's because I've gotten it already, and I'll explain that in a second. But anyway, I would have to pinch in. But if, for example, if it was blank and I was trying to guess and I did a vertical line, it did a little red flash there. That means I got it wrong. So I would just keep trying different symbols until, oh, I got the correct one. I pinched in. It actually got a little bigger if you see here. In this case, it would show me that symbol and then the other 5 would be blank. So then for the second symbol, now I'm going to start trying one of those 8 symbols. So maybe I thought it was tapping. I just take a guess. I tap. Oh, it's wrong. I have to start over again at that point until I figure out the second symbol. And then you know the first 2, so then you would enter those and then try things for the third one. If you get it wrong, you just start over, enter the first 2 again, guess the third, and you would just keep doing that until you made it through all 6 symbols. Once you did that, you would continue to test out symbols in each of the slots until you made it all the way across. Now, tonic for trace detection has 6 symbols you have to enter. Things like Extimulo potion, that only has 3. So it's a lot easier to figure out. So certain potions have less or more symbols, thus would take you longer or shorter to actually figure out the code. But really, even 6 symbols, there's only 8 possible things, and once you lock them in, you can remember it and you can just enter them in. In addition, there you see mine across the top. Once you've done it 3 times correctly, so if I do this with a tonic for trace detection, the next time I brew a tonic for trace detection, they would be blank again. I have to enter them again, so I can either write it down to memorize it, or try it out again and have to figure it all out again. But once you do it 3 times, it saves it to your notes, and then it would look like my screen. You would come up to do a tonic for trace detection, the symbols would be there. You don't have to memorize it anymore. You just follow the instructions on the screen, essentially. Underneath, it will tell you how much the brew time is reduced. Normally, master notes reduce brew time by 15%. That is just across the board. And that little box, the little check mark, if you look in the lower left where tonic for trace detection is, that little box lets me know if there's a check, then you know you've already put the master notes in. In this case, if you look at the top, it says reduce brewing time by 50%. That's because it's during this event, it's 50%. Every other potion and tonic trace for detections normally would say reduce brew time by 15%. And it is 15% of the total time that it takes to brew the potion, if that makes sense. It doesn't matter if the potion's already has expired. So if you forget to enter the master notes and come in halfway through the brew time, when you enter that, it'll still reduce it by 15% of the total time left. So if the total reduction was, say, 18 minutes, and there was only 19 minutes left on the potion, and you entered the master notes, it would suddenly have 1 minute left. It would take that 19 minutes and still subtract the 18. If it's less than 18 minutes, the potion would be done immediately. So I'm going to go ahead and enter the master notes for this by pinching in. Clockwise circle, horizontal line, vertical line, counterclockwise, and then pinching out. Boom. So when it comes back to this screen, if you look at the tonic for trace detection, it has the check. So when I come to potions, I don't have to bother to click on that spoon handle. I can see it's already good to go. And that's what that little box is for. And that's how you enter master notes. You need to do that twice for that task. I hope that quick explanation of how master notes worked explained it enough that you're able to successfully get past that task, because you still have a couple days certainly to do it. Anyway, if you do have any more questions, feel free to leave them in the comments, and next video I will definitely address it and just go over whatever questions you might have. All that being said, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Nox.